Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it.
Likewise, Bruce. Nice to meet you.
My partner had a dip, so you've just got me today.
No worries.
So, where are you located?
Now I reside in Cincinnati, Ohio. I spent like 29 years in New York City in the New York area. And basically during the pandemic, I realized like I had two of my best years of my entire career and I didn't see any of my clients.
Right.
So I said, well, time to kind of go to a lower cost of living, slower pace of life where I can just really focus more on music and, let my money work for me a little bit more. And
Nice.
man, it's been incredible.
That's great.
Yeah, it's been one of my best years of my career this year out here. So, yeah.
Nice. I grew up in New York as well. I spent the first, I guess, 28 years of my life there. Worked at a couple studios in the city, Soundtrack and the Hit Factory.
I worked at Soundtrack.
Did you really?
Yeah, I was staff at Soundtrack from 93 to 1995 and went freelance in 95 and I've been freelance ever since. But I mean, the number of times I've freelanced out of both new and old Hit Factory in New York and Criteria, then Hit Factory in Miami. And I mean, that used to be my stomping ground.
So we may have crossed paths somewhere along the way because
I bet we have.
I was at the Hit Factory probably mid 80s, late 80s. And then Soundtrack, I think probably like 89 to 93 or something. The rap era when it was all.
Yeah, I got into Soundtrack at like the heyday of boom bap, New York City hip hop,
Right.
and just learned from the fucking kings of New York hip hop, man. I didn't really know much before I got to that city, and I was just a sponge. And I'm really fortunate to work with a lot of great guys and work in a lot of great rooms and with artists. And man, it was a whirlwind experience back then.
Yeah, and I started out as an intern at the Hit Factory, which was totally a story in itself. You could write books about that crap.
Yeah, I know all about that path. I was interning at Soundtrack before I was assisting, before I was engineering, before I climbed that ladder.
Yeah, so interning at the Hit Factory was like Troy bringing his Ferrari into the freight elevator and everybody waxing it every Friday afternoon. That was interning.
Oh,
but anyway.
I was just at Troy's Germano Studios in March working with Ed Kowalczyk from Live.
Oh, really?
Oh, it was amazing. He still sounds incredible vocally, man. He's really got it.
I've never seen the new room that Troy's built up there, but here it's pretty nice.
Oh, yeah. The last time I was in there was 10, 11 years ago when we were working on with the old Kanye on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. And we did some of all of the lights in that room, and I hadn't been back there since. And me and Ed were working together in March, April, redoing a new version of Lightning Crashes, which came out this summer. And so I produced the vocals on it and cut them in that room, in the control room. And man, working with Ed, he's incredible.
Yeah.
What a bunch of sessions, man. It was a lot of fun.
Anyway, so we're here to talk about Obscene Stealers. Let's do that. How did it come about? Because you guys both have your own successful careers outside of the Obscene Stealers. How did that come about, and what was the genesis of it?
So Obscene Stealers is myself and Michael Moss, and my affectionate nickname for Michael Moss is Michael Moss, the movie trailer boss. And Michael composes film trailers at the highest level for big films that you have definitely seen. Some of the ones he can talk about are like The Batman, Fast and Furious, Star Wars, Mulan. Like that's Michael's resume. He does a bunch of like TV trailers and things like that. And I come from the other side of kind of music industry land where I'm credited on 113 RIAA gold records across a ton of different roles, from like producer, mixer, songwriter, arranger, musician, vocalist, engineer. And so I'm like opposite end of what he does. And we got together last year on a Christmas song and everything just clicked, and you just know when he was like, man, I want to do more. What with them? So I found like some of my favorite songs that I that I had written, but I had never done anything with or never placed. And I was like, all right, here's one of my favorites. What are you going to do with that one? Just, I had no expectation at all. And all of a sudden he starts sending me back these like, they're not trailers. They're like somewhere between pop or hip hop or something mixed with his cinematic sensibilities. And then they come back to me and I pull them apart and put my record sensibilities on them. And we kind of combine superpowers and just reimagine what some of these songs could really be and then write new songs. And I mean, we're deep with songs and Obscene Stealers right now. We're just about to release our third single next week. Actually, in 2 weeks from today, we're going to release it. And we're debating which two songs to go with. So I don't want to mention anything and jinx it. We've already released Side Effects and Danger. A new artist that nobody's heard of. Like, even though we have great careers kind of on our own, nobody knows who Obscene Stealers is and why they should care. And most people, unless somebody that tells you about it and says, I found this, this is dope, you should definitely hear this. Right. Most of the time it just gets glossed over unless you just get like that lucky listen, or we're encouraged for where we're going. And clearly Obscene Stealers is going to target, film and TV and gaming music and things like that, things that we love to do anyway, and that we've both made a lot of music for those lanes. That's called sync music, basically. Me and Michael have made a lot of sync music, both together and apart, and we've done really well in that world. And we think that we are going to have we're just planning on putting out one new song a month, every single month, for as many months in a row as we can until, until greatness or we give up. But
so no plans to do like the old school full version record or EP thing. It's just going to be singles.
It's going to be, I mean, they put out EPs of like entire collections as we create them, because I think, I don't know. I think the stuff that we're really going to focus on is going to be one single a month, every month.
Right. I mean, that is the new business model, right? That's
it is. If you're going to survive and thrive in the music business, and especially in sync world, you have to kind of acknowledge, all right, what are you getting into, and what do they want, and how are you going to get it to them? And I think that level of consistency with that level of quality of songs that we hope that we can always put out is going to just be the new buzz. Like, it's tough early on, but by single 10 or single 12, we hope that, we have a great fan base and every music supervisor waiting for that song to drop to see who wants it first. I already have music supervisors telling me, like, listen, before you put that shit out, make sure I have it. But please just send it to me before anybody else. So we already know, like, what we're doing is really resonating and we're super excited about it. And then it's just a question of, getting the word out and letting people know all of the things that we're doing and, putting in the time. And that's a day in the life for us.
Oh, yeah. So with your different separate careers and doing this, is this something you're going to do live, or is that not even something you're considering?
I think live is getting really, really difficult for artists in general. And so I'm not really attempting to go there. Who knows where it will go, but I think, the metaverse and the kind of virtual reality is going to be where a lot of, concerts and quote unquote concerts are going to happen. And I think our music is going to lend itself really well to virtual reality and gaming and things like that, and just kind of, escape experiences. And I think we're looking ahead to that and trying to position ourselves well now, so that we can be kind of a part of that movement, and whatever else we can find on the way.
So with the doing the one single every month, like you mentioned, are you constantly writing then, or do you have like a backlog of stuff and then you're just going to release it?
I think we finished 8 songs close enough to the end finish line to know any of these eight songs we can certainly tidy up and find a great finish line to our standards on. And then after we had that body of work to draw from, we said, okay, time to start releasing while we continue to create more and write more and develop more. And we've already got new songs in the works that we're really excited about. And the song that I'm hoping that we go with for the next single, I wasn't planning on putting out until maybe single 6. And just the way it wrapped up, I was just like, this is the next song, man. Oh, this is the one that I want to be able to have to top a month from now. How are we going to top this one? And it's if you want to survive in the music industry, and everybody says it's so hard now, it is easier than it has ever been in the history of music. That doesn't make it easy. It's incredibly hard, but you have opportunity. I love your dog. You have opportunities now to lay your own groundwork and make your own path without the help of major companies, in a way that you can survive and eat well and make a living. And on occasion, you can get rich, but that's not the goal. The goal is do this with consistency, build a reputation, build a great catalog over time, continue to feed it, continue to make sure that you're doing all of the right things to build your fan base, to build your relationships within, the sync world. That's where we want to live. And don't let your foot off the gas. People get comfortable and then they start coasting and they don't realize their car is slowing down until they've blown through a few stop signs and people have forgotten about them. Then it's too late to course correct. Like, me and Michael are old pros. We've course corrected so many times, both of us in our careers, we're looking for the next, we want to be on the leading edge of the course correct and, be the ones driving the next influence and not, trying to catch up. So.
Interesting. And so I don't know if this question is really going to make sense because I've never talked to anybody who strictly does music for like video games or theater or whatever, like you said, the sync world. Are you writing songs like with a project in mind, or with a movie in mind, or a film in mind, or something? Or are you writing songs and then saying, oh, this will be good later on?
I think we're not writing with a specific movie or set or thing in mind in the moment, but I think we could get there in the future. It depends on where this goes and what kind of inspirations we need. I mean, as songwriters, you just look for inspirations in life all around you, and they happen when you least expect them. And you better be kind of in the moment enough to latch on to that idea and capture it in some way that you can either come back to it or expand upon it, and just not let it go. So who knows where the inspirations are going to come from. A lot of these songs have come from songs that were written in other ways before, either on acoustic guitar or fully produced out in a different manner. And I just took the vocals from that song. I was like, man, this song, the production isn't current anymore, but this song is a gem. God, this song is incredible. What if we took this piece and that piece and that piece, and we reworked it into something that sounds like Obscene Stealers? And that's, if you listen to Side Effects, that's basically how Side Effects came along. It used to be a slightly longer, like 3.5, 4 minute song, really dark pop and really haunting. And I always knew that song would be just a great sync song. We came really close to some big syncs. They just never landed. And eventually you got to keep up musically, and you still okay, everybody used to respond to this song, but now the production is dated. Do I let the song go forever, or do I go, no, this is a gem here, so let me see what I can do. Let me give it, and I give it to Michael with no music whatsoever, only vocals.
Oh, really?
And yeah, this is one of the ways that we work. We also write from scratch to things that we fleshed out. But sometimes I'll hand him over, and I don't want him to know the original chord progression and the original counter melodies and things like that. I want his fresh interpretation from cinematic world as first draft of like, oh shit, I never would have thought of that. Okay, now that I hear this, why don't we try because like I come from I don't have an orchestral background. I have a musical chameleon background. So I produced and recorded and arranged the horn section for all of the lights for Kanye West. It's all live horns. I did the string sections and all the live string sections and live choirs for the Jacob Bourne Center album. So a lot of people see my resume and they see a super hip hop laden resume, and I can basically do anything in hip hop. But one of the things that I'm known for is getting pulled by artists into their world because I can bring a different genre into hip hop authentically, know how it should marry into hip hop, and know how it should stay authentic in its own genre, and then combine those two things. So when the opportunity to work with Michael Moss and just do that exact same thing mentally with what he's doing into my world, I was just like, this is a day at the office for me. Let's
Right.
fucking go. And the ideas that we started having early on were just like, this isn't, if somebody just sent this project to me and was like, what do you think of this? I'd be like, who the fuck is this? What are they doing? And how can I be involved in it? And then
Right.
yeah, that's, in your heart when you're an artist. And it's so weird saying when you're an artist, but
Right.
I am, I got to embrace it. So, it's a different mindset. And, so it's cool. I like it.
So then I'm assuming, based by what you're saying, that the response has been overwhelming to what you've had.
Well, nothing is overwhelming when nobody knows who you are.
True.
The number of early playlistings that we've gotten for a brand new artist without a label behind them, and with very little marketing budget, has been exceptionally encouraging, because I've been down this road with other artists before, and I've been successful in the path to breaking artists, especially in the sync and streaming world, independently. And we've been down that road and failed a bunch of times. And
Sure.
so I kind of know what both of those journeys look like. And we're on a pretty good track right now. So, that's encouraging. And our, like, Michael lives in that film and TV world anyway. He's nominated. I'm not sure when this is going to air, but November 16, Michael's going to be in Hollywood for the Hollywood Music and Media Awards, which he's a nominee for. It's the second year that he's been a nominee. So clearly he lives at the high levels of kind of that. Anyway, we're going to both be out there and, making some music there and meeting some people and, seeing who might be interested in what we do and seeing where it might go.
Nice. So I've got one more question for you, and then I've got some sort of fucked up thing for you. But no, I just lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, what is it you got going forward from here besides the single every month? Is there anything else happening or?
Obscene Stealers is basically, we collaborate with different artists in different lanes of the industry. So I think, we hope as things grow that that we just continue to work with really great artists. Some of them right now we're just working with, like, our friends and singers that we know are incredible, but
Right.
they're not trying to be like the out front, front man. So it's a great way to just be creative at the same time that you're really focusing on building your own thing. And as a producer and somebody who's developed artists, most of my career, I've always been focused on developing other people's artistic careers. And now I'm like, this is the first time where I genuinely feel like there's a really good opportunity to just do exactly what I want to do, which is exactly what Michael Moss wants to do, and have loads of fun and create tons of great music, and have the confidence to know if we just keep doing that and do all the right things, that we're going to be all right. And
Do you find it difficult using the advice that you gave to other clients or other artists in your own life now that you're building your own brand?
No, I think it's illuminating. And I look at, here's one that I basically tell new artists coming up right now: if you're serious about being a new artist and you're not on TikTok, what the fuck are you doing? That is where new artists live. So I'm not on TikTok. I'm not going to be. And I acknowledge that as a new artist in this lane, that that is an L that I'm taking and I'm willing to take, because unlike all of those other new artists, I have big, giant, wide open doors into Syncland, and
Right.
that's where I want to live. And that's, if I only lived in Syncland, I would be okay with that.
Right.
I want a genuine fan base, but I think we can build that at streaming and YouTube and things like that, genuinely enough. And I have a whole show called Mixing Night that basically each new mixing night, which is like Howard Stern for studio folks. It's just youtube.com/mixing night. Each new mixing night now, I'm just debuting a new single. So I have a good couple thousand new people who know what I do, who are checking in on the show, who hear the new single, who hopefully go share it with a few of their
Right.
friends. And that's a great launch pad for any artist, we're
Absolutely.
lucky to have it. So, it's a lot of fun.
Excellent. So I know I mentioned the next segment. We do this thing every interview where we have a fucked up picture,
Oh,
just
great.
one image, and all I need you to do is tell me what's happening in the picture and
Okay.
what is going to happen in the next frame. And hopefully you've got a good sense of humor.
Okay. What is happening in the picture?
Yep. Hang on. I'm going to share the screen here, and then
You got it.
you'll be on. You ready?
Yeah.
What is happening there?
What is happening there? I think Putin nuked the mountain behind the Ukrainian village right now. That's what's going on right now. That's a pretty wild picture. What is this from?
So, the short story, we'll take a time out. We'll get back to it. My sister is a psychiatrist up in New York City,
Oh,
and they have these weird, I guess, analyzation tools, just a series of pictures, and she's got different versions of them. And a couple months ago, she said, I think these would be great. She sent me 10 of them.
yeah.
And we do podcasts once a month on a Tuesday. So every Tuesday we use a different one and run through everybody with them just to get people's. And I'm sure if she ever watches this and analyzes it, we're all going to be super fucked up. But it's good fun. And you were mentioning TikTok. These are
Yeah.
great for the 1 minute, shorts on YouTube and everywhere else. People love this sort of thing.
Here's what it really reminds me of is there's a cave paintings in France called Font de Gomme.
Mm-hmm.
And they are the oldest human cave paintings that are accessible to the general public. There's the Lascaux that I think is dated slightly older, but you can't actually see Lascaux as a tourist, and you can see Font de Gomme.
Right.
And there's stuff like that hand in relief, and there's stuff like the walls there. And it was one of the most fascinating things I have ever seen with my own eyes.
Wow.
So anybody who gets that chance in southern France, man, go for it.
All right. So the next question would be what's the next frame of this picture? What's going to happen?
I think I think that window is going to blow out and they're donezo. So I'm still going with nuclear war.
That's fine. What do you think she's watching on that
where
TV, or he's watching? I don't know if it's neutral general, but or gender neutral. What are they watching on that TV, or what are they waiting for?
I mean, it was a movie until a few minutes ago, and then now all the power has been cut. So, yeah.
Perfect. Thank you for putting up with us or me.
Oh no, you're good. I like this.
These little things do quite well in the. It was funny you were saying that in the shorts world.
Yeah.
We do the full podcast every twice a week or whatever, but these things fill in along the way, and they do some of them blow up on social media. So
That's
people
fun.
like funny, odd stuff. So,
Cool.
so what did I miss that you want to cover? Are we good?
I mean, for me, I think mixing night is the main thing that I kind of do out in the general public. I launched it. Like I said, it's a 2 hour broadcast. It's like Howard Stern for studio folks, and I do it the first Wednesday of every month on YouTube for free. I started it the first week of lockdown during the pandemic, really just to kind of keep some of the studio community together and give people something to do when everybody was going into uncertainty. It started out Q&A with Ken, and then it kind of morphed into mixing night, and it really became the thing that we didn't know we needed. And
Right.
once we realized that we needed it, now It's the thing that we can't let go, and we just love it. So the next show is November 8th on YouTube, 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern.
Where can people find it?
It's youtube.com/mixing night.
Mixing night. Okay, perfect.
And yeah, and if you put in Ken Lewis, you'll almost certainly find it immediately on YouTube. It's pretty easy to find. And check it out. We do beat challenges and ear training, and I do live mixing, and have interviews with cool people, and we give away amazing shit. So, it's a really good check-in. It's kind of like, it's designed as like the escape from the rest of your shit week.
Ever wonder what a punch from Elton John feels like?
Or how you'd cope with having turned down the chance to be in Nirvana?
Or what signal Keith Richards gives when he wants you to get the hell out of his hotel room?
Fans of Too Much Effing Perspective don't have to wonder, because they've heard these exact stories and a jillion others on our podcast. I'm Alex Hoffman, former tour manager for Radiohead.
And I'm musician and comedy writer Alan Keller. On the TMEP show, we get guests like Nancy Wilson from Heart, Jeremiah Freites from the Lumineers, and Modern Family's Julie Bowen to tell us things they may have only shared with their therapist, clergy, or a TMZ stringer.
So join us on Too Much Effing Perspective. That's EFFING Perspective. The only podcast you crank up to 11.